Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Tinter Battles podcast episode jam-packed with Tintertainment, Tinteractive, and Tinter Battles. My name is the Glass City Film Sling, a Tinter Breeding, Hell-Raising, Trailblazing, the legendary, the one of one, the tinted one. My name is the Texas Squeegee. And to kick off the show, we're just going to get right into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, presenting to the Tinter Battles podcast, he is an entrepreneur. He is the founder and the owner of TintWiz. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to the stage, none other out of California, Erik Devash.
Thank you for the introduction, Carlos, and the opportunity to be here today.
And speaking of Erik Devash, I think it's probably appropriate to say Erik the Dominator Devash based on this last week's SEMA impact that we had at the Solar Gard booth for WizPong, which was powered by TintWiz and Solar Gard. I must have said that like a billion times.
You did, and because it took a team, and we did dominate as a team. And I was telling Cadeau yesterday, I believe, it is just especially like thinking about the fact that we were at SEMA and what a stage that is, and what I thought of SEMA before I'd ever attended SEMA or had the opportunity to attend SEMA, to think that we were at SEMA and we could draw as such a small team, but like an elite team. And like we could go in and with the right host and the right environment and setting and everything, go in and create such an impact and such a line like that. That's just very fulfilling, and I won't forget.
Yeah, so like to recap a little bit about what happened, because I want to learn more about, since I feel like you were like the orchestrator of this, right? But to recap what happened at SEMA, this is what I saw was that day one we had a success. There was a line that was filled throughout the entire time we were playing. But after day one, when we came back on day number two, it's like the line had exploded and it actually filled up. Like it went from the Solar Guard booth over 2 booths down into coming to play the WizPong game, and to highlight that the team that was put together for that, you had Austin Cook, Michaela Cook of the Tinstitute team, and then you obviously you had me on there as well, along with the TintWiz team. I don't know if I'm leaving any. I mean, Roberta was in there on day 3 for a little bit, so, but I think that was pretty much about it. So, I mean, you kind of stacked. You almost had like the A-list talent here for as an example. It was no surprise that the impact that we had, and obviously you and I work together with Tinter Battles a lot, so we always work really well when it comes to doing events. But what was your thinking process as you were in essence assembling this team? What was your thinking process going through it, and did it meet your expectations? Did it exceed it? Like, how did you feel about going through that whole journey?
So we should start at 2 years ago. SEMA, Solar Guard mentioned that they're going huge, and by huge they had a 50 by 70 booth, which is the largest booth you can get, larger than, I think, I don't know how many people had that size booth. I think they might have been the only one, or one of one or two. And they said, anything you want to do at TintWiz, bring it. And I thought to myself, that's very kind of them, but they're building out this 50 by 70 booth. I don't want to impose per se. So we showed up. We contributed, but it wasn't quite like, we didn't go all in, put it that way. And this year, after getting a feel that year, they said, hey, we're coming back. We're making changes. Here's this opportunity again. And I said, I'm not going to let this one slip away. So if a booth of that magnitude and a company that's investing that much into SEMA says, hey, we invite you into our booth and we trust you, like, I knew I had to stack the team, right? So that's why, there's Austin Cook and Michaela. These are people who have returned. They're two people who are like they know how to demand a crowd. They know how to hold a crowd. They've done WizPong before. You hosted it. You've hosted WizPong before. You know how to hold and demand a crowd. So putting you together as a team, just why wouldn't you put all the odds in your favor, given that it's a once a year, who knows when you get the opportunity to do it again.
Yeah, man, I was pretty excited, and I was very thankful to finally work with someone like Austin. I hate the rep that sometimes the word influencer gets, because to me it's more of a person, like, influencers are really just content creators that are good at that job, because a lot of people make videos, but they're not, like, someone that is good at their content that has an impact by definition is influence. And
Sure.
Austin has been that guy for, I mean, a long time now, and I was thankful that I got to work with him finally. But I will kind of little chip on my shoulder. I was just like, he's stepping into my world because, like, when it comes to live entertainment and live show and show business, like, I'm the number one guy. So but nonetheless, it's a team of, like, it's like A-list team. Austin had his contributions to that, along with Michaela Cook, and they were great taking pictures with everybody, which I'm terrible at. Like, I wish I had more pictures coming out of it, but we got plenty of videos. And by the way, the videos online are actually performing pretty damn good so far.
Yeah, pretty good is an understatement. But before we talk about the videos and the views, I just want to emphasize that part of the reason why it's a no-brainer to work with Michaela and Austin again and yourself again is because all three of you are 100% professional. It was so simple to just say, like, hey, what do you think about this opportunity? All of you in different ways contribute to the opportunity. I never have to question anything. You guys execute, and that you leave like the magic you came in, and everything happens in place. And like, I'm just saying, like, it makes, it's like, it's a good move on my part to recognize that, but like, you guys are the ones who pull it off as a team, and that goes for Cadeau and Carrie and David and everybody, and Tanya and everybody together. But you guys, as the host of this game, I just think it's important to emphasize, because I know other companies listen to this and manufacturers listen, and if you don't agree, if you're not like, oh, that's obvious, then like, you will continue to see the Fusion booth with influencers. You'll see Johnson booth with influencers. You'll see Tint Wiz or Solar Gard booth with influencers, and so on. And you'll see that these people that are one of us, right, in a sense, draw a far larger crowd and have a bigger influence than the person that you may have never met and are in a magazine.
That's a good point. And something that I noticed this year, like for me personally at SEMA's, was like there was more challenges and competitions going on in booths than I think there had ever been from any of the times that I went to. And I mean, you're right, dude. Like, I still remember going back a couple of years that not a lot of people that were out in this industry, like leaders in their own, like the Cadence, the S3, spray scrub a squeegee guy.
Yeah.
Those people weren't getting booked for these gigs. Like, it just companies, it was like they were asleep at the wheel. And I'm going to say it on the podcast here that the reason I think a lot of people are getting hired, in big part, I feel like Tint Wiz and you tore down that wall, because where everybody was asleep at the wheel, you as a platform and as a company started working with talent. And I think that you had you definitely saw something that other companies didn't, and so I think that what they needed to see was a proof of concept, and you took those chances on. And there's it's no surprise that Tint Wiz is probably the most talked about CRM. It was a strategic move on your part, but also, like, I'd say on behalf of a lot of kind of personalities like us who was there, who saw it, who saw these events, and really a lack of sort of community involvement in them outside of their corporate team. Yeah, thank you for tearing down the wall for all of us and continuing to be a leader in that field. And again, no surprise why Solar Gard booth at SEMA was probably the busiest, most packed one throughout the entire time.
Well, I love the opportunity that this industry presents, because if we're in another industry, it would just be like common sense. But for some reason in this industry, sometimes it's not. But I will say that with more confidence than I've ever felt, because of the feedback I've heard from random people, meaning people outside of our industry and so on, they are coming across your videos. They are coming across Cadence videos. They know who Austin from the Tint Institute is. And these are people that have nothing to do with window tinting. So it is working, and it has that, it's having that consumer awareness effect. Now, the only thing that's, I think, kind of like maybe not disappointing, but just like, you're like, it's having that consumer awareness effect, and everybody's missing it and not tripling down on it, quadrupling down on it, when it's having that effect that all these brands for decades have wanted to reach. It's having that effect. You don't need to be on TV. You don't need to be on radio. You don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars across the country in each location for billboards. You can triple down into your own customers and let them, be your voice for you.
Yeah,
I
in
hope
essence,
more companies follow.
I mean, in essence, people that do content, that have a following, that are good at creating content, because like being good at content is really mastering the art of attention, So I think for like a lot of people that are of this industry, that have some type of presence, that has some type of platform, and really what they do is they amplify your message. If you get with the right ones, obviously, and that's that. In essence, you're tapping into a distribution network that creator has created for themselves, and like the company. It's like, I mean, there are companies out there that, for example, those like, oh no, we're going to start our own social media and we're going to do things our own. I was like, well, you're going to go through and you're going to find out that it's a lot harder than it is in a world where there's more media saturation that has ever existed. So how do you stand out? It's like, you have to be really good at what you do, or you have to be really different. And a lot of those guys, like, sometimes it's like, man, you're years away from like figuring this out. And sometimes the figuring out comes to, okay, I can't do this. I need to hire someone that knows how to do this. And so that's why, that's why
So
you end up having that.
the Texas Squeegee and the video views. So if you go to TintWiz's Instagram page, you'll see 20 to 25 or so videos posted from last week till today, less than a week ago. Like, they're all 5 days or newer. And they're collaborations between Tinter Battles, Texas Squeegee, Solar Gard, TintWiz, and combined, they're nearing 1 million views, combined views. The top videos, there's a couple that are just around 200,000. And then there's a lot of 60,000, 80,000, 50,000, and so on. And to think that we were able to work with you, and you were able to not only hold, like, contribute to the event, the pre-event, the ideas into the kegs. I'm not trying to glaze you, but it was very helpful. And execute the event, but then to be able to not have to deal with, like, hey, it's going to be a week till we get anything out from SEMA. And instead it's going out the same like hour, and it's going out in a way that people playing ping pong in a keg gets 1 million views in less than a week. That's quite the accomplishment for the team, for you, for executing it, for having that formula that is now a proven formula. You did it at WFCT, you did it with WFR, you did it at Tinter Battles, and now kind of something I want to make sure we squeeze in before my time's up is that you're about to do it again at Tinter Battles coming up. And I want to be Nostradamus here and just point out a couple ways that I see companies should be leveraging what's about to happen at Tinter Battles. And I don't just mean companies, manufacturers. I mean the bigger opportunity, in my opinion, as a competitor. I think the biggest competitor here to turn these videos into money is actually potentially as a competitor.
Yeah. This is a platform of I call it the industry spotlight. It's a platform that a lot of people can get blown up. I mean, we look back at Marcus Quintana, who, I think his videos is now reaching 40 million views. I mean, we posted it on September, still getting traction, still getting views. For him, we collaborated that with him as well. So I haven't checked to see how many followers he's picked up, but hell, even some of the content that we came out, we collaborated with the WFCT content, and like prior to September the 10th or the 9th, they were sitting at around 4,500 followers. After we did our magic, they went over 10,000. So we more than doubled their followers. And that's the exciting part for me, because from the, since the get-go, I've always felt like, the Tinter Battles, it's much bigger than me myself, but anybody that's really been a part of it or continues to be a part of it is going to continue to get that exposure, because with content, man, sometimes it just keeps going, and then it'll hit another boost in the algorithm, or you just repost it. And that was like exactly what happened with Ricky Miller after Wiz Castle. We posted this video, and I think it got like 18 or 20 million views. Then the lifespan of that video sort of died out, and then I posted it not that long ago, maybe a couple months back, and it went up again, shot up another 18 million views there. So it's pretty, like, the platform is pretty powerful, and those who understand it, they love it, and those who don't get it, they're still trying to figure it out, but yeah, man, I'm excited for Tinter Battles in 2026 on January, because we finally, we really have that formula down in terms of like the production of it. And yeah, I would say even the competitions, the competitors are probably, this is going to be the toughest competition, 100%, bar none. And the reason why is because there's a lot more awareness for this event. There's a lot more awareness for Tinter Battles competitions in general. So the people that signed up were like really the ones who moved quick to get on it. And then Also, Tesla Model 3s is the hardest competition car that has ever been had at a window tinting event. And they're all going to be Tesla Model 3s. So, and in the finals, they're required to do that final back window. So that's going to be exciting to see the different strategies and how people approach that one. But yeah, man, it's we have a incredibly stacked card. Never had much more anticipation than we have coming into the January, and I thank Tint Wiz for being a partner yet again, as always, for this. And we're excited to see what we're going to come out with, and hopefully there's some major announcements coming up here in the next couple of weeks. One of them being a betting platform that we're working with to try to get something set up for people can do it.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope it's Calshir. Like, you know what I'm hoping it is.
Yeah.
So look, I know you have a lot of guests, and I don't want to bump anybody's time or make anybody run late, but I want to squeeze in a bunch of stuff into like 4 minutes, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right. So starting pre-SEMA, we attended Autofill Mastery. I personally didn't attend it last year. I missed it last year, but as Tint was, we've sponsored it for the last 4, maybe 5 years. I think it's 4 years, and it's been going on for 5. To me, this was a standout year. I think they've really fine-tuned things, but I think even beyond that, talking to Ray and what they have planned for next year, this isn't just a hype fest. This is really going to another level, and I'm already committed to next year because of how excited I am, because of how much came out of this year. So the standout thing every year, what I would say would be, it's 2 days of a different type of setting with about 100 to 150, maybe sometimes 200 people, but in a different setting where you end up knowing people on a deeper level, where I met people, I talked to them throughout the day, both days, then I saw them at SEMA. These are people that I feel like I was able to affect, I was able to learn from, and now I have new friends and so on. So, and then the format and how they're dialing in the speaking, I think next year will be exceptional as well. So if you get a chance to, if you're going to SEMA, book that a couple days before. It really is worth it.
Yeah,
SEMA,
you
yeah,
had
go ahead.
you had a talk there. You spoke at the Autofin Master, right?
I did. So I had the opportunity to speak, and I spoke about a concept called addition by subtraction and how it relates to our industry. And it's something that I'm really excited about when that video comes out, because they're totally okay with sharing the video in full form, and they actually filmed it. Which is a big plus as a speaker, to be able to say like, hey, I spent about 2.5 months preparing for this, writing it,
Wow.
practicing it. The concept is something I've been practicing for a decade, but the writing it and being up on stage for 40 minutes and trying to hold everybody's attention, I took it very seriously, and I'm very happy with how it came out. And I'm really looking forward to being able to share it online and digging deeper in it over the next year. And so, because I think it's what businesses need to get to from where they kind of are now in the world, where they've experienced that growth in the last 4 or 5 years. They've thrown so much on it, and they're probably wondering where and when the profit's going to really hit and how to grow from here. And the concept is essentially not growing by adding more, because adding more, you think you're adding more and growing taller, you're maybe spreading yourself thin. So it's adding more by removing pressure and things that aren't serving you so well in the company, to let what's there do its best. And then how to identify that and go through that process in an effective way that doesn't just make you starve and actually
Like
makes more money.
I remember probably one of the standout, because I've learned a lot from you. I've consulted with you on a lot of different things, and I owe a lot. I mean, the majority of my growth since 2021 to a lot of the messages and advices that you've given the Texas Squeegee. But one of them, I remember very early on, one of the messages that you spoke about that really stuck with me, and that is a concept of going wide versus going deep. And when you go wide is when you start adding a bunch of side services. So for example, like if you're in tinting and like, okay, now I want to do PPF, now I want to get into vinyl wraps, now I want to get into the science business. That's going wide versus going deep. It's like, I've got a flat glass business. How do I get more flat glass business rather than trying to add services? Like figure out how to maximize what you are really good at instead of trying to master a lot of different things. And it's kind of a little bit, I think is what it aligns with what you're saying right now, right? Like less is more sometimes. Like addition by
It's not just a
subtraction.
preference. It's not just a preference. It's a way to make your business more profitable and more secure in the future because you think about it literally like you're digging holes into the ground. And if you spent years digging one hole as deep as you can, you've encountered different challenges as you've gotten deeper and deeper, completely different challenges. You've maybe had to invent new tools and overcome each different layer, right? But if you spent that time instead digging shallow holes, but going wide, and somebody wants to compete with both those scenarios, somebody can have more resources, more land, more innovation, and dig more shallow holes. But how long will it take them to catch up to you if you've been digging deeper and come up with the solution to all those problems? You're much safer in a deeper hole than you are just digging shallow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Where can people find this video? Because I want to listen to it too. Like unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. But for when it does come out, where should people expect to find this?
So I'm going to post it on my Facebook page, Erik Devash, and then it'll be on our TintWiz page as well. And you can also find it. Yeah, you'll be able to find it on my YouTube. And I'm going to really try to get it out there. So if you think you missed it and it might have come out, search addition by subtraction, Erik Devash. And if it exists out there, it's going to come up.
Addition by subtraction by Erik Devash. Cool. Was there I had a couple of questions before, but was there anything that you wanted to cover before we get to it?
No, the only thing would be my predictions for, I just kind of want to not predict, but I want to frame how I'm seeing just this opportunity with Tinter Battles beyond the excitement, the fun, the entertainment, the competition, and so on. But from like a business aspect, both whether you're a competitor or you're a manufacturer, potential supplier, I feel like I've been part of Tinter Battles for now every single one, and I feel like you do get some experience, and I want people to be able to the people who see it and understand it, listen to this podcast. I want them to be able to leverage that and become out as profitable as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. I had a question about SEMA whiz pong. So you got to see it from the side. Sometimes like whenever you're in the middle of that whole action, I only get one perspective, and that is the perspective that I'm in watching. You saw it from the side, and you were there on day 2 throughout it. What was going through your mind, maybe in the very beginning, in the middle, and towards like, was there a standout moment where you had like either an epiphany or you were like, or you had a reaction to something?
Yeah, day 2. I mean, look, the moment was day 2 when the line was forming, and it had formed across Solar Guard's entire 70-foot frontage. It had formed through the walkway. It covered all of Expel's frontage, and then went into most of Eastman's frontage. And there's a video on all of our Solar Guards, Tinter Battles, TintWiz's. It's a shared video of that line. And I mean, that to me was like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, it really, really worked. Like, it couldn't get too much better, though it will next year. I bet we'll be able to wrap around. Anyway,
Yeah.
but it just seeing it go off without like a hitch, but seeing everybody come together the way you and Austin and Michaela work together, the idea that you came up with of the keg designs being related to features and how that related to the commentary, and then watching people in line and paying attention, and people are willing to stand in line for 2 hours because they're playing multiple times, and for that 2 hours they're learning about TintWiz, they're learning about Solar Guard, they're interacting with us, we're doing giveaways, they're enjoying themselves. Because here's the reality too, and part of why I think the line got longer every day was because SEMA's big and there's a lot to see, but there's also a lot of time in the day, and Vegas is pretty damn expensive too. So the
Oh, yeah.
idea that you can come, have fun, and play a game and maybe walk away with a $400 keg, and it's just like fun and you're hanging out, it beats walking around for another hour or so. It's definitely, so I like that aspect. People were in line, I believe, because we created a scenario. They wanted to wait in line. They were having fun. Even before, they were having fun doing it. So to me, that's like the sign of success, is when you can stand back and you see things happening naturally. We weren't blocking people in the hallway. They were coming in. They were curious. They were having a good time. They were interacting. They were leaving smiling. I mean, he can't beat that.
No, there was also times like, like in a business, whenever, like when you can sometimes, like a metric of measurement in business is whenever you get repeat customers and they keep coming back, right? What we saw with that line too is that there were people that kept coming back like over and over and over. And like a couple of standout moments for me was on day number 3. Like we had one competitor that had been trying for day 1 and day 2, and every time she was going up there, she was throwing balls in, but they weren't making it. So much so that I just started to, every time she got back in line, I said, welcome back, you know? And on day number 3, internally, I was thinking, oh man, like she has to win something, because it's like, this has been 2 days. It's like the Rocky Balboa story when he lost the first fight. Then he's coming back for the second one. All this training and all this motivation, and then he loses again. Like, it just doesn't have that climactic, you know, sort of happy feel to it. But thankfully, she tossed the ball in there. She made it. She got a keg. And it was like, that was really cool to see. There was also a lot of people that were going in as like couples or as like units, you know, whether it's co-workers together or there was couples. And like, you know, for us, they were there for a snippet moment, you know, in the grand scheme of things. But for them, this is a moment that they get to experience and talk about, and like, hey, that was fun. It's now a memory that's embedded into their brain. So that was what I felt like was pretty cool about all of that.
And from a Solar Gard, like, or a Tint Whiz, let's say ROI point of view, right? Why are we playing Whiz Pong in the booth? What we did was we, as they say, hosted a good party, right? We invited people to the booth. We gave them a reason to be there. And what ended up happening was new relationships were formed. People learned new things. They learned about Tint Whiz. They learned about Solar Gard. They met Mike Malatesta. They met Lindsay. They met Rob. They had a question for Miguel. And some of those people will be new Solar Gard dealers, and that will benefit their business. It's not just a sale for Solar Gard, but it's a connection. And if you don't create an environment to have those connections don't happen. They just, you walk by, you see it, and that's it. So it's really about that connection and finding a way to stand out in a booth full of not their booth, but in general, like in a hall full of samples, colored PPFs, brochures, and you know, cars. Like, how do you stand out? And we were able to do it. So I thank you and Michaela and Austin and everybody who contributed, Carrie, you know, Cadeau, David, Tanya, and of course the Solar Gard team for having us there.
Yeah, man. And
if I forgot somebody, you too, because I don't know, there's a lot of people that contribute to this stuff.
So with one final question now, I think we're probably going to see more of what we saw at next year's SEMA.
Bigger and better. And I would say, you know, bigger, better, and you're just going to want to be in line. I feel like the line is going to be, we're focused on making the line itself like just as great as winning a keg.
Well, I can't wait to hear those ideas. So cool, man. That being said, it's one final message from, where can people find you and what's going on with Tint? What's the latest thing? What can we expect?
Tinter Battles, we hope to be releasing a new feature. I haven't told you yet, but it's a big launch that we've been working on for, it'll be about 7 months. Haven't really told anybody, but if everything goes right between now and then, Tinter Battles will be the first place you can have access to it and learn about it and so on and experience it. So that's and then main takeaway.
And then Tanya will be at Tinter Battles as well, right?
Yes. So Tanya has been doing the bulk of our one-on-one training. You can access one-on-one training for free by going to support and then go to the third option, which is schedule free one-on-one training. But if you'd like to meet Tanya in person, she will be at Tinter Battles as well.
Yeah. And for everybody that's watching this as well, like if you're in the automotive field and you want to get in the flat glass, I speak from experience myself, that I tried getting into flat glass and I couldn't figure out the business model for flat, because I thought that, well, it's window tint, it's film on glass, I can just pick it up and learn it. I will say, and I'm not BSing this, I will say 100%, had it not been for the guidance that Erik Devash provided, but had it not, and then also just as important, had it not been for the system of Tint Whiz, I would have never stuck around to doing flat, because it was impossible for me to try to like grow and scale the business off of a notepad or off of notebooks the way that a lot of traditional flat glass guys do it. And so for those that are wanting to get into flat glass or wanting to understand either whether it's hands-on training or the business of flat glass, Tinter Battles is having trainings for both of them. So you can access the event itself, and you can, you get hands-on training with some of the trainers that we'll have on there. But I'm sure like Tanya will be available as well. If you say, hey, how do I quote? How can I put together a proposal or a quote for a customer? I was like, well, we're going to have a lot of flat glass stands, the competitor stands, that you can literally treat those as actual projects. And by the end of the event, you now know how to create projects, how to send proposals, how to send quotes, so that you can go back home and expand and potentially change your life. And I also want to highlight one story real quick, was in Tinter Battles Wiz Castle. This is 2024. Alicia Yancey, it was her first time going to an industry event. She came out to Tinter Battles and we had trainings there. So she received some trainings, hands-on trainings on flat glass. Johnson Window Films was the main flagship sponsor for flat glass battles. So since that time, Alicia has then gotten into the world of flat glass. It's part of her business now. She's having incredible success. And the person or the company that she's aligned with and is part of that success was Johnson. So kind of a moment that I was able to have like that full circle moment whenever I was hosting a small flat glass battle at their booth. And I'm commentating on Alicia, remembering, wait, her first show was at Tinter Battles. And now I'm coming back knowing that she blew up online and she's an influencer. She's successful, an entrepreneur. And then the company that she partnered up with was the very company that sponsored the event for the segment that she ended up, kind of going into it. So I just wanted to highlight that out there, that Tinter Battles is the event where you can have life-changing moments, life-changing relationships. Get it all January 10th and the 11th, Tintertainment.com.
Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate you creating all these these events year after year and these platforms and bringing entertainment and tintertainment to the industry.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for joining us on the Tinter Battles podcast. I'm gonna release Erik here, and then we're gonna continue the show. So, have a great night. Squeegee that, Erik.
Thank you. Squeegee that.
See ya. All right, man. That was Erik Devash of TintWiz, one of the most influential entrepreneurs in will go down in the history of this industry. A future Hall of Famer, 1000%. And he's obviously the mastermind behind TintWiz. For those that don't know a little bit about Erik, he'll never tell you himself, so I'm gonna hype him up just a little bit. Erik had a company in California that they blew up, and then the company got bought out because it was just exploding in growth. So the success formula that made that company very successful is now the formula that you can, in essence, subscribe to with TintWiz and tintwiz.com. That was the what they had developed and really what gave them that competitive advantage while they were growing that company. So if you want to tap into this formula of a proven concept of success, go to tintwiz.com. They have a 30-day free trial. You don't need any credit cards. You just need an email and password and you're in. So anyways, on to the next things. We got Tinter Battles coming up here, and I'm going to bring here none other than my co-commentator from Jacksonville, North Carolina. You have known him. You've heard his voice. He is a person, I'm not sure if he's seen by millions, but he's definitely been heard by tens of millions of viewers online. Ladies and gentlemen, bringing to the stage, David Commentator Carly. So the crowd goes wild. Wow.
Yeah, I was about to say, we got to pump in some crowd noise on that. We need like a button.
Man, is my audio cracking here? Because I know.
No, you sound great. Yeah, I've been listening the whole time. I was hanging out in the green room, eating snacks, waiting for my turn to come up. And no, you sounded great. I didn't hear anything pop.
Yeah, we have a question right here to at Tinter Battles on Facebook that says, Texas Squeegee, when are you hosting your next tinting course? We recently had one in October the 26th, which was, it was pretty good. It was a success. We brought in some people, some youth that we ended up doing some trainings. And then afterwards, we had a couple of the pros, battle it out with the Tinter Battle style challenge. So that was really fun. Most likely, we're probably going to have one in sometime mid-December. It's not just going to be a tinting course. I'm going to say it on here. You know what? It is what it is. It's in full transparency. In December, I want to have a gathering here at our location, but I wanted to be kind of a hybrid between a training / battles / just coming in and gathering and having a good time and having, really anybody that wants to show up can show up, and local competitors or even pros that are out of town. Like, you're welcome to come out here. So it's something that I think I want to do sometime around mid-December. And yeah, man, I think you've got the sound going on behind
me.
No? Okay, never mind. I think you're good now.
I ain't got no noise in here. You're just hearing shit, bro.
Yeah, probably, man. After the week that we had last week, yeah, I probably am definitely hearing stuff in my head, man. But no, overall, you definitely missed out on SEMA. You weren't there, but I want to say this one thing: the influence, the impact of Tintertainment, of Tinter Battles, is undeniable at this point. I have never walked into a SEMA with more challenges, more competitions being hosted, and now you have 3M and Avery that are having belts at their booth. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. Before Tinter Battles 2021, June 12th and 13th, I still remember the date. Before that show, there was no world championship belts that existed in our industry. that was the very first one that put it out there. And now that the impact is there, the ripple effect has been there. There's others that are following in the footsteps of what we started. And I mean, you know, on one hand, it was a lot of fun. I went to the Max Pro booth. They had something going on. I went over to the, you know, I hosted something at the Expo booth. 3M had a lot of competitions going on. Eastman had one going on as well. There was like, I mean, I've never seen more challenges and competitions at booths at an event like that. And I think, you know, I'm gonna take a little bit of that credit and send it off to Tintertainment, because it was something that wasn't there when I first started going to SEMAs, which was when I started Tinter Battles.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of the videos. A much needed break for me. I got a lot of mental relaxation done. I want to say it was like I still had withdrawal symptoms after about a day of not being there. I wanted to come, and I was just like, just. But watching the content online and the stuff that was going on, I was like, yeah, man, it's beautiful. It's like it's changing the landscape. It's kind of like, we always say these things like the first one's over the wall, get bloody. You're gonna catch the most arrows. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you took those lumps, but now everybody's seeing what that does, and now they're just, they can't. They're mimicking it, which is perfectly great, because really, in all truthful aspect, it's nothing but a tribute and a huge compliment to what you've put together in this whole system. I mean, I know you're
Well,
going to say all of us, but we credit you. Whatever, just take a compliment and shut up for a minute.
no, there was also like the good thing, much bigger than just me, beyond me. I think like the people that are benefiting are the competitors themselves, because I remember when we first started with this Tintertainment and Tinter Battles in 2021, I remember you and I having the conversations of the world perception of tinters, and it wasn't the most positive. It's tinters are the crackhead in the corner kind of thing. Like that's what people perceive it to be. And I would say, like, throughout the years, I think that's been changing, and it kind of, to me, there's a lot of efforts being made. It's not just Tintertainment, but I feel like Tintertainment has been able to have a reach unlike anybody else has, because we do it through form of entertainment, hence the name Tintertainment. So while everybody else is doing it through like influencers or like, hey, my film blocks 98% heat rejection, wink, wink. We're doing it through a much more, an unorthodox approach, which is more on the entertainment side. We genuinely captivate attention, and then we show through that captivated attention, like no, there are people that are actual professionals, that you have your Ricky Millers of this industry, like a marathon runner, a father, a podcast host, a trainer, and an entrepreneur. Like there are people like that. Then you have like the Marcus, there are people like Marcus as well. Incredibly humble, gifted person, like does really good at what he does, but his career is a little bit different. And then I mean, there's so much diversity in our industry, and I like to think that with what we are doing, we are bringing a spotlight to people that really deserve it. You have your Fernandes, for example, and him being at the Max Pro booth. That was really cool to see. Alicia being at the Johnson booth. Dude, like 3-4 years ago, this wasn't happening. The company that was there, it was just their people working at the corporate level, and that was it. But now you're starting to see a lot more of an outreach to actual personalities in the industry to start bringing them in, which is something that I wish existed a couple years back. It didn't, but it took people like, I would say, people like Austin, people like Erik, Devash, Tint, with people like me, frankly, as well, to start tearing down those walls and create and say like, hey, yes, you can hire personalities to bring something different to your booth or to your space.
It was, there was a huge disconnect for all brands to try to get some kind of connection to the end user. And I don't think they ever just didn't want to do it. I just don't think they knew how.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's for those that are understanding it. They're the ones seizing those opportunities. Those that are still trying to figure out are on the sidelines, or they're trying to do their own thing, only to realize it's a lot harder than it looks. But speaking of personalities and breakout stars, we've had a couple of people in the last couple of years that broken out, during the Tinter Battle season, because again, it's the industry spotlight. I had an interesting Tinterview with two guys from California. These guys, they first caught my attention online whenever they were putting content, like POV style content. They were going out and doing jobs, and their edit style, the personality, especially with one guy's voices has perfect radio voice. So, but I finally got to meet them at SEMA we had an interview. We had a flat glass battle. It's posted online at Tinter Battles, so you can go find it. But these guys caught my attention, man, and they kind of Carly, they reminded me a little bit of the 2021 energy, because if you remember at that time, it was Texas Squeegee versus everybody else, because I was firing shots left and right, bro. Like, you give me more and I was firing them right back. And so that was a lot of fun. Created a ton of exposure, established the first Tinter Battles, and that still continues on to this day. And these guys were sort of nostalgic to that era. And I almost felt like, damn, I wish they were competing at a time whenever I was competing too, because then they would have created for some really awesome storylines and moments. But, at the end of the day, these guys they're awesome. They're humble. But without further ado, I'm going to bring them here onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Dante and Chris Garcia of Fresh Off the Lot and Tint the World here to the stage. So welcome, guys, to the Tinter Battles podcast.
How we doing? How we doing? Honor to be here. Honor to be here.
All right, we got to take off this overlay here 1 second because it's blocking you guys. Perfect. There we go.
How you guys doing?
Wow, so you guys got like the stage spotlight washing you guys from the back, almost like David Carly. Am I watching right here? Angels in the making. I see a halo around a silhouette here, almost like they're preserving themselves so that whenever the big moment at Tinter Battles comes out, they're going to show up and show out, and perhaps we're going to have a new Tinter Battles Flat Glass Battles World Champion.
Yeah, what you see here is two guys that are definitely trying to make a name for themselves. They're definitely trying to step out of there. I watched their videos and I was pretty impressed by how they're in front of the camera and how they're gonna like take over the industry. So you know what? Hey, good luck to you guys. Like I always pull for the guys that have just get out there and like make it happen. So you're building a fan base of guys like me who like to see that happen. And I'm wishing you the best of luck in the competition.
No, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Man.
See, I like David Carly. I like when I was growing up, my favorite wrestlers were like the Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Rocks, the guys that were good on the mic, the guys that had a chip on their shoulder and they had something to prove. And what I see with these guys, what I see with Chris Garcia of Tint the World and Dante as well, I see a little bit of that mean streak that you need to get into the championship rounds and ultimately the championship titles. And I see that with these guys, but you never know. Like, this is their first time competing, and we've seen it in the past. Sometimes there are guys who get into their first competition and the spotlight makes them shake, and others thrive in that spotlight. For the team of Tint the World, how do you feel? What's your prediction going into it? When the Texas Squeegee says, introducing next, Dante and Chris Garcia of Tint the World, what are the feelings you anticipate happening? Do you think you're gonna step up to the plate, or you think you're gonna step aside to the spotlight?
Well, I could only speak for myself. I kind of signed up already knowing what I was getting myself into. For me, it was just an opportunity to really showcase my skill because I've been doing flat glass for years. It just hasn't really been showcased on the highest level. And really, for me, it's just a test to really just put it out there, see where I stack up against the legends, because ultimately, those legends, those OGs, I mean, video aside, they're the reason why I even signed up, because I'd seen these guys on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. So for me, it was really just like, let me see how I can really showcase my skill set in front of a lot of people. So one, it gets me better at my craft, because window tinting changed my life. Like, it really did. Behind the scenes, it really made an impact in myself. And I really just wanted to join Tinter Battles just to really involve myself more, get myself into this industry, and just really, perform at the highest level.
And then for me, all right, you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead.
And then for me, so I've been business friends with Chris for about 5 years or so. So he's always been the tinner. I've always been the detailer. And as of late, we became business partners in the flat glass market. So they got the hostage.
Marco, they're filtering because they're firing some shots already. God, dog.
Yeah, so I'm pretty new to the flat glass stuff, but I mean, honestly, I caught on pretty easily. I mean, it's honestly a lot easier than doing automotive, and it just made sense to work together. I mean, he's a great installer himself, so he's pretty much the one who trained me and kind of opened my eyes over to the flat glass market. So as far as the competition goes, I mean, I'm not shy of competition. You know, prior to doing detailing and prior to having a tint shop, I used to play chess professionally at a world stage. So last time I was in Vegas, I was playing at a basically a world championship in Vegas. So that was the last time I was there. And you know, I've had times where there's hundreds of people watching this last game that's going down because we're the last people playing, you know, for the championship. So I'm not shy to competition or eyeballs or anything like that. So that's nothing new to me. So, I mean, I'm coming out there. We're obviously here together right now. Even though we live an hour and a half away from each other, we're here training today. We have 60 days to the competition. So we're going to be ready to compete. So,
yeah, that's true. We definitely have 60 days. And you mentioned you're a chess player. So, you know, you have that mindset of thinking about strategy and thinking about 10 steps ahead. What types of a strategy here? Like, I mean, are you going to show up and perform and make everybody else almost feel like they're playing checkers while you're playing chess? Like, what's the strategy here going into with the flat glass battles?
So honestly, I mean, with, you know, preparing for something like a chess match, whereas preparing for something like tinting, I mean, it's honestly repetitions over everything. So repetitions with helping with the peels, the cuts, you know, replacing the film correctly. I mean, drop rolls. I mean, depending on what kind of window it is literally repetition after repetition. If we can do the more 10 times the repetitions than the competition, and we're training every single day, how are you going to train somebody? How are you going to out-train somebody that trains every single day till the competition starts? So
there you go. The chess strategy there. David, commentator Carly, what are your thoughts here listening to these fine competitors? Are you putting down a bet on streambet.tv for these guys?
I mean, somebody should be. I mean, somebody needs to pay attention to this. I mean, you got a professional chess player here, it sounds like, and a person that came up hard on the other side. Like that creates a combination of intelligence and survival, right? Like you can have intelligence, you can have a survival instinct to take people down. I guess I have one question for you, and I just want to tell you, as a person who has competed in Tinter Battles, you know, it's one thing to talk about it, and I'm giving you guys some advice right now. It's one thing to talk about it, but it's a different thing when you walk in that arena. Your nerves and the way that the adrenaline's gonna run through your body is completely different. So I'm giving you guys a little bit of advice. You need to be aware of the adrenaline that's going to take over when you walk in there, because it ain't like anything you've ever felt before. It is game fucking on.
Let's do it, man. Game on, baby. Let's go. That's what we're ready for.
That's exactly right. Spotlights are on, loud mics are on, loudspeakers are full blast, and then here we go, kicking off the flat glass battles there. So we got Ricky Miller here commentating off of the Facebook at Tinter Battles. He goes, I don't know about their skills yet, but they seem cool talking to them at SEMA. Their shirts are sick. Excited to compete against them at Tinter Battles.
And shout out to the Miller Bros and all the Green Valley guys, man. They really we had great conversations with them behind the scenes, and
everybody else.
Nothing but love,
everybody else.
Really,
Erik, I mean, you guys, Marco, Alicia from the Johnson booth, the whole Johnson crew, everybody that we met at SEMA. I didn't get to meet everybody because he was talking to people and I was talking to people, but everybody that we met, super cool people behind the scenes. But we obviously want to put a spotlight, you know, for the competition. You know, it's good for, you know,
get more
engagement. Let's get it.
When the time starts, they're not your friend anymore.
No,
that's how competition is.
We're going for the belts. If we got to go up and grab them, we'll grab them.
Yeah, like I wanted to do a small correction here. This was actually Joshua Miller, not Ricky Miller. Joshua Miller, I'm going to say, is probably the nicer of the two, because Ricky Miller said, where is that comment? I know that he saw it right here, man. He said something. But yeah, Ricky Miller right here, he says, he goes, no shot. It probably meant no shit. Just a lot of talk. Let's see how they do when the tinted drops. So again, the difference between, like, here's with Ricky Miller and Joshua Miller. They're both absolute professionals. Incredible businessmen and incredible installers. You get a little bit of both sides, though. Josh Miller is more of the relaxed, chill. Ricky Miller is more of the intense, higher energy here. So both of them together, I think, really are the yin and the yang, the half and half that create the whole. And I know that they feel a type of way because last year in Wiz Castle, Tinter Battles 2024, it was their first time coming to a Tinter Battles event. They didn't really know what to expect. And it was so they were, maybe the moment got to them. I'm not really sure what it was, but they didn't win the championships. It was Marcus and Flat Glass Joe that ended winning the world championships at Tinter Battles. And then they've been seeing each other at every other competition event, and they typically are neck and neck. So the last time Ricky Miller, he wasn't able to place in the top 3. He understood why. He accepted it. He was accountable for it. However, he is vowing to come back now, coming to the second Tinter Battles, knowing exactly what he's got to do. David, commentator Carly, I don't know. Like I said it before, man, if I was betting on this one, I may be like the Rothschilds and fund both sides of the war, because I don't know where my money would go here. I mean, here you have the young generation coming up, much more energy, allegedly, much more energy, a lot of anticipation, huge optimism. One guy plays chess. The other one has been more of the experienced flat glass entrepreneur, and they're coming in to compete with a tons of energy, chip on the shoulder. They're here to prove a point. And then you have Ricky Miller, multiple-time world champion, partnering up with Josh Miller, taking on Marcus and Joe. I mean, this is going to be, and that's just 3 teams, though. That's not even including all of them, because Cedro Rodriguez and Bruce Slavish are also competing. Cedro Rodriguez was a former world champion at the Expo Dealer Conference. I mean, the card cannot be like much more stacked than it is. I mean, I would think I'm watching the Mount Rushmore of flat glass here.
Yeah, I mean, StreamBet TV is going to have a hard time with the odds on this stuff. So yeah, like this comes down to some, you got to prove yourself when you're first in, but again, that doesn't mean you're not a great in the shadows, right? I would just say that again, I hate walking these events now because like the cards are so stacked with competition being at a high level that whoever has the best day is going to win.
Yeah.
And it's you want it to be as competitive as possible, but really it comes down to who has the best day, and you just got to and your nerves have to be in the right place. But if your nerves are in the right place and you have the best day, that guy's gonna win. So I don't know how to bet on any of this anymore. I have favorites. I like to see the new guys come up and put pressure on the older guys. You know what I mean?
Definitely do.
They know that you're coming after their shirt tail, so they have to get a little cocky and show some peacock feathers because they know you're coming for their titles. And you know what? You're the new generation moving in. They're going to eventually have to retire and move out, and you're going to put them into Canton, and that's where maybe they belong, some of them. But that's your job to do that, not ours. Ours is just to tell the story, man. We're not here to master. We're just
Well, like, let's say, speaking of new generations and OGs, I've got a guest here that I'm going to be bringing on here shortly for Tint the World. What is the message that you want people to know going into Tinter Battles about you guys as a team?
Back to the OGs and the legends, it sounds like they have a lot to lose. I mean, we're kind of going in with really nothing to lose. So, I mean,
whoa.
At the end of the day, it's like, all reputation, all history at the end of the day. Like I said, we're going in there just with good energy, whatever we have to do to
the most energy, by the way. The most
energy. Look who you just summoned. Marcus Quintana there in the comments section, the Tinter Battles, Flat Glass Battles world champion, one half of that team. Here saying, I'm really excited to be competing against everybody. Good luck to you all. I mean, this guy is always humble, victory or defeat. He's a class act. No wonder he's in the world championship divisions there for flat glass.
He doesn't really. Let me translate that for you. That really says, I'm coming to whip all of your asses. Good luck, and I hope you get home safely. That's what that's translated to.
I think, and also don't pack the extra bag because the belt's coming home with him again. He might be a double champ. I'm not really sure, but. Regardless, Tint the World, thank you very much for joining us on the live. I can't wait to see what you guys got packing there for Tinter Battles. It's going to be, both of our pleasure for commentator Carly and myself there to call the matches, and I can't wait to see what you guys put out there. Keep training, keep practicing, and at the end of the day, whether you win or lose, have fun with what you do because you'll never regret having fun.
Of course.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
See you guys. Well, commentator Carly, they had wow, like a lot of hard works there coming from a new generation. They threw some shots. They had a little bit of some shots fired there for some of the OG guys, but they also understand that the OGs is who inspired them. But again, they're not coming in to fanboy the OGs. They're coming in to put the nail in the coffin of OGs' careers so that there is a new kid on the block. There's new generation here coming over and taking over. But again, man, you just never know You just never know what's going to happen. So without further ado, we can't talk about the new gen without talking about the legends of this industry. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring on one of the heat shrink masters of the world. He is an entrepreneur, an influencer, a brand ambassador for multiple companies. I'm proud to present here from Orlando, Florida, the founder of Tint Buster, the owner of Best Deal Window Tinting, Eliu Albello.
What's going on, guys?
We gotta catch a snippet of that, man. That's gotta be like cut out and make part of your intro song. Everybody, like the David commentator Carly, every head must bow, every tongue confess. When you hear that sound, you know Eliu is on his way.
Yeah, yeah. Every time I see someone, the first thing they do is
Yeah, it's iconic. It's become like a thing, bro. Like you gotta turn it into a shirt, a button, or something, you know?
It needs to be on shirt.
Now,
yeah, David Cross. I heard David Cross doing it last week. I was like, damn! I was never expecting something like that.
Now,
Not from David.
Eliu, you saw these new guys. I don't know if you've met them yet so far. You heard a little bit about what you
I haven't met them.
Okay, cool. So you know you've been in this industry for a very long time. You know you're one of the people that has really pushed the envelope. And let me just highlight something here for you. I went to the Eastman booth and I took on the shrink challenge. You know, with Daniel Chung. I did it. I thought I did it relatively somewhat quickly. At the time, I got the fastest time, which was 2 minutes. And I thought, oh, pretty cool. Like I'll be up on the scoreboard. Why is it that I came back 24 hours later and I found out that you had a 30-second shrink? I'm like, I could not believe it, man. I really couldn't, because I did it myself and I took 2 minutes. And I'm not a slow shrinker by any means, but that was like unbelievably fast. Like, what the F did you do?
Yeah, I just pull shrinking, man. Just pull shrink. That's the key. Pull shrinking, Papa. That's the trick. And I learned that from Daniel Shank. And it's a good thing that I got it on video, man. But honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I was not expecting that time. Like when I saw that Daniel Shank had 44 seconds, I said it on the video. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna beat this time, because it was my first time doing the Tesla white roof. I didn't know what to expect, but it came out good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like 30 seconds was like in a flash, it was gone. And so now for heat shrink battles, you're definitely coming in to take everyone down, right?
I'm not sure, man.
What?
I'm gonna do my best. Hey, listen, I cannot brag, man. There's so many good installers, man. There's so many good installers that anyone can take it. You can make a mistake and hey, that's it.
Yeah, is it Dustin Hall was also there? He was witness there to that legendary shrink that you laid out at the Eastman booth. Man, I for me, you're one of the competitors that like, and I really do hope that you bring your best to the heat shrink battles, because I really want to see.
I will.
I want to see it, bro, because like I love everybody, and I don't like picking favorites, because at the end of the day, it's like, my favorite job to do is being the commentator. Yeah. But if I was gonna put my money on anybody, if I was betting on this, I'm 100% putting my bet on Eliu. I've never seen anybody else like shrink the way that.
Bro, don't keep putting pressure on me, bro, because I'm getting super nervous.
I'm trying to summon Fernan, because I haven't seen Fernan in the comment sections, but I know Fernan is an incredibly fast shrinker too.
Yeah, he's very fast. He's very fast too. And Elvin, man, Elvin got the first place on the Max Pro booth. That was pretty fast. Yeah.
Right. So now, like, let's take it back to the original question. The OG guys that were, I mean, the new gen that was here, like,
they don't have a chance, bro.
Are we talking heat battles or flat glass?
Hey, listen. I don't care how good they are. I don't know them. But you go against Marcus, Flat Glass Joe, Ricky Miller, Josh Miller, man. These guys, they have a ton of experience competing wise and on the field. Like, they're laying film basically 24/7. And with the years of experience these people has, they have no chance. They have. On the first time, you gotta be very lucky, man. You gotta be very, very lucky, man.
Yeah, there's been an influx of like newer, much younger tenors that are coming
And
in.
it's cool they have the energy and stuff, but that's the only thing they taking back. The energy, man. Yeah. Hey,
Poor
and
guys.
I'm no flat glassing starter, man. But hey, listen, I went to Vegas to take Ricky Miller training back in July, man. This guy is a beast. Like they're fast, they're quick, they're super professional. Like they bro, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
No.
they've definitely got they definitely have got mileage on their experience.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But
When they find out the time is shorter and when you're under pressure, they will realize like, oh, okay, that was for real.
yeah, look, and then Ricky Miller there, he's over there calling you out a little bit. He goes, "Thank you, I'm coming for you, Poppy," in the heat shrink.
Oh yeah, yeah, right, yeah, right. No, but
You
he's
know,
good too. Yeah, he's very good.
well,
He,
Ricky's like he's been known more for flat glass competitions, but he told me one on one, he said that he's more experienced in auto, and that's what I think. If I'm remember correctly, he prefers auto to flat glass. It's just he happened to, I guess, get more success competing in flat glass, but he wants everybody to know that his auto is just as strong, if not stronger, than he is on flat
yeah,
glass.
he got a couple good scores on WFR. I mean, but it's very hard, man.
Yeah,
It's very hard. I mean, like to stay on top on the auto division itself. And in flat glass, I feel like it's a little much more easier because it's less competitors. But you go into an auto division, it's fully packed with talent. Everybody's getting better every year, so it's gonna be
it's
hard.
it's gonna be stacked, man. Like we're gonna be releasing we have the next 16 for the team's auto division that we're gonna be releasing. But it's we have when in terms of the team's auto, it's an incredibly stacked card. I mean, it's like what you would see in the finals, but this is a starting line. You're one of the competitors, David
Yeah,
Kratz.
I don't want to be a judge in that with that lineup, man.
And they're going to have a hard time. The judges being right now, was it Mike Sanchez? We have Jeff Hozilla and Roberto Rodriguez. They're going to be the judges. They got some stiff,
Yeah,
some
I know
stiff
Mike
class.
is pretty badass. I know
Yeah.
Mike. Hey, I mean I respect the other judges, but Mike is very detailed. Like he's very, 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 very clean. Like you have to do a very clean job.
Yeah, yep, yeah. It's gonna be, man. It's gonna be pretty cool. And one thing that we're excited to also announce is the possibility of earning points in the team's auto division. Like if you take on the risk of shaving a glass, it's a much flawless finish, but it comes at a higher risk. It's going to take a little bit extra time to perhaps like heat out
Yeah,
the
Beyond
exterior.
is super excited about that, man. He calls me every week. Like, look this Tesla 3. Look this Tesla 3. He's practicing every freaking week. Like, that's the only thing he does there. Tesla 3s and Tesla Ys.
Man, so you guys are going to be
I,
the team to look out for.
dude, I'm just gonna go there and hand him the tools. Like, here, Beyond, what you need? What you need, Beyond? Here you go. Like, yeah.
That's going to
He's,
be, man, it's going to be such a pleasure to call that match and that battle between
yeah.
you and
Yeah,
Byung.
Beyond is very excited, man. He's very, very excited.
Hey, and we're excited to have him come out here for the first time too. I've seen him in other competitions, other events, but now he's going to be under the spotlights of Tinter Battles.
Yeah, that's gonna. I think he's gonna perform much better because he's more. He performed better when it's more relaxed. Like WFR is a little more relaxed. And when he find out that Tinter Battle is even more relaxed, like you just gotta be you and you got time, I think he's gonna perform better.
Yeah.
WCT is very strict, is very time limited. He put a lot of pressure on himself, but I feel like on Tinter Battles he's gonna do great.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see that lineup there. Shady J says Team Shady Blades put in 5 hours of practice together. Y'all better be ready. What do you have to say to that, Ellie? 5 hours against. I mean, what kind of practice are you are you doing?
Dude.
What's your strategy? What's your regimen?
Beyond is in Korea and I'm in Orlando. We don't need no practice, papi. We're gonna go there and do our thing. That's it.
Hey, you can't count out though. CEO David Kratz, Dave Dellinger partnering up there as well. That to me is like, do I think they're gonna win? I think that their win means something different to them than winning the titles. I know for CEO David Kratz, I mean, he damn near stacked the card with a bunch of Autobahn representative dealers. So I think for him, just being in the midst of being with everybody, I think for him it's a win regardless. Dave Dellinger, he's a former competitor, legend in the industry, but again, his influence is different. He's evolved more than just being a competitor. But hey, I'm glad to see an original Tinter Battles competitor finally stepping back into the spotlight again and see how he's.
That's gonna be fun. David Cross like that, like make it super fun, very enjoyable, like not under stress. So.
I mean, we have a claim here. Tints by Rico says Elliot drinks 15 egg whites and he puts in 5 hours before you wake up. So I mean, what's going on with the egg whites? Do you throw out the yolk? Do you just keep the egg white? Is that reason why you've gotten so fit? I mean, what's the strategy here?
You want me to be honest? I'm right here. I'm about to train. When you
shoot.
Yeah, I'm about to train. I haven't worked out in a week, man. Vegas hit me hard, and then I have to come back and do a full PPF. I haven't trained in a week. Like I felt like, oh my god, I gotta work out. So.
Well, Elliot, so before I let you off, what's a final message here? You guys call yourself the Korean Connection, right?
Yeah, the Korean Connection, yes.
What's your prediction here? How do you feel that you're going to do? What's your message to the rest of the competitors?
I'm just gonna go there like I always do, trying to do my best. I mean, it's gonna be a tough competition. It's gonna be, I know it's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be serious at the same time. There's a very good competitors. You got Fernand, you got the Miller brothers, you have Jason Teasley with Dave Williams. That team is insane.
Oh my god, yeah. Jason Teasley. When I saw him on there.
Yeah, that team is insane. Dave Williams with Jason Teasley, they're very, very, very good. So I don't take nothing for granted. I mean, I know we have the biggest names in in the industry, because people recognize us as what we do, like on social media and stuff, but I don't take anything for granted. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be practicing, and I try to do my best.
There you go. Cool, calm, collected. Ellie Albello, always humble in victory and defeat. We're excited to watch you compete, not only in the team's auto division, but also to be crushing in the heat shrink battles tournament.
No, the heat shrink battles, I'm gonna tell you, if they let me use the torch, they don't have a chance. Nobody there.
Whoa.
Hey, with heat gun or with torch, I mean, you saw it on the Eastman booth. They don't. There's nobody there that have a chance against me.
Well, there we go. If you're putting your bets down, put it down for Elio Albello, the heat shrink battle competitor. They probably call him the heat shrink boogeyman because, I mean, you everywhere you go, you're always posting videos. You're always showing your skill set. You go to the event and in a live setting.
Yeah, it's
in
not.
Essence, you back it up.
There's no show, no Photoshop, Papa. Real and live.
Well, Elliot, we'll let you get back to it. We'll let you continue training.
Thanks for having me, Papi. Thanks for having me, brother. See you in January.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Elliot. Enjoy your night. Have a great evening. Squeegee that. Wow. I mean, Elio Albello, commentator Carly, a lot of excitement, a lot of confidence. I mean, he's not coming in with like the new gen kind of confidence. Elio's coming in with like proven and has been there, has done that. Coming in here, that's the confidence that you're getting. It's like it's different when you're walking into it and you say like, yes, I believe in myself. Yes, I'm the little engine that could. Elio's coming in and saying, well, first of all, I ain't little. I'm the engine that did. And that's what I'm excited about here for the heat shrink battles with the Tinter Battles, Teams Auto, and the Flat Glass Battles World Championships. Wow.
I mean, it's what time at night and the guy's training. So he's kicked everything up a notch. And I guarantee that the way he's been acting lately and looking at social media and shrinking and doing all these things, he's treating it as a sport, and this is why he's getting better. The whole industry just got put on watch. Like he just stomped his heels. He just put the whole industry on watch with that comment. 30 seconds on that shrink that you talked about. He's on to something, whether it's mentally or figured something out. Something's clicked somewhere, and the whole industry is on watch. I mean, if you're placing bets on that, I mean, how could you not bet on him? I don't care who he goes up against. How could you
Yeah,
not?
for those that are wondering, like what video we're talking about, the Eastman booth. So if you go to Texas, I believe actually go to at Tinter Battles on Instagram, scroll through some of the videos, you'll see the one where I took on the challenge, and it's doing half of the Model Y Model Y sunroof. And I did it in 2 minutes. So you can look at the speed, leave a comment if you thought I did pretty good, if you thought I was too slow, or if I was, quick enough. Let me know what your thoughts are. But that was the one that Elliot did in 30 seconds. I mean, it took me literally 4 times longer than him, and I didn't think I was going that slow. I had the fastest time whenever I tried out. Then I come back 24 hours later and find out Elliot had 30 seconds. And of course, I wasn't surprised that of all people, like if you told me, hey, somebody did this in 30 seconds, take your guess, best who, I would have either said Fernan or I would have said Elliot.
Yeah, they're the names to watch. They're the people to bet on.
I mean, look, we have Marco Cazorla, who I don't know why, but Marco has been a little bit quiet here. He said earlier what happened last year when it was me and Elio Bella. He was probably responding to a previous comment there. Marco now says, hopefully the Tint gods allow me to battle Elio Albello. Let me tell you something about Marco. For those who don't know, Marco was the original winner for the original Heat Shrink Battles in 2022. And let's go back down memory lane. At that time, we were setting up Heat Shrink Battles like a Royal Rumble style. If you won that round, you stayed to defend or until the very end, or you got beat out and then got eliminated. Montana, the Tint craftsman, was 5-0, an undefeated streak. He was smoking everybody with a Steinel heat gun. And it didn't matter whether they were using a Wagner heat gun or they were using a torch. Montana was beating them all, like one by one by one. Then Marco stepped into the battlefield. Marco got summoned. It then became Marco versus Montana. However, what Marco did is he pulled out a torch, because Marco is a torch shrinker as well. When Montana saw that, he said, no, I'm going to bring out the torch as well. So Montana ran off stage, went back in, had a backpack with the torch. They both went to battle, and unfortunately, Montana couldn't repeat that same formula. Marco ended up defeating him, hence making Marco the Heat Shrink Battle World Champion, the first one in 2022. That was an incredible competition, but Marco was the one that took home that championship. What's different with Marco now is he's not installing every day like he used to be. And so I'm not sure if Marco's going to come in and have that same fire he had in 2022. Maybe Marco's been removed. He's taken a couple of L's, and maybe he's backed into a corner where we may see the original Marco, the original Big Brown Cazorla, coming out and perhaps shocking the world once again and maybe winning his second Heat Shrink Battle Championship. There's no telling right now.
Yeah, I mean, our league, what we do is going to have a seniors league eventually. You know what I mean? So maybe that's just where he's at. Maybe he just can't keep up with the prime of the young guys, and he's going to have to step into the senior leagues. He may have lost a step. I hope not, but that's kind of what I've seen.
Yeah, so there's only one way to find out here. That is to show up to Tinter Battles in Houston, January 10th and the 11th. Tickets are starting to sell out. We're literally 2 months out. 2 months from right now is the first day of Tinter Battles. And probably at this very exact time, 2 months from now, we would have known who's moving into the finals for the Heat Shrink Battles, the team's auto, and the team's flat glass division. That's 2 months from now. Tickets are still available. Hotel links are available on Tintertainment.com. So make sure you're signing up. It's easiest to sign up, and if you stay at the hotel, you literally have to go nowhere. Everything is within walking distance. Everything is, at part of the hotel as well. There's a bar. There's coffees in the morning. There's restaurants within walking distance. I mean, we chose this location for its convenient and its accessibility. There's 2 airports that fly into Houston. There's Bush International, and then there's Hobby. So if you're looking for recommendation, fly into Hobby. It's a much easier of the two to navigate, but don't everybody all come at once, Here we go. Tint the World Peacock shirts. Tints by Rico. Well, here's a suggestion for the Tinted World guys there. We're looking for some good. By the way, if you have a kid under 18 and you want to bring them out to the show for the training program that we're having, it's auto tint, PPF, and flat glass trainings. Bring them out to the show. It's under 18. It's free entry to get in. Be a part of the competitions. And speaking of young entrants, young attendees, we have a team that I'm going to announce right now that I'm going to release. There was this one particular competitor at SEMA last week that really struck my attention. Her name is Dominique She's 17 years old. But the reason why she caught my attention was because we were running a heat shrink battle contest at the Expo booth. And we set it up the way that we're going to do it at the Tinter Battles. And that is, a competitor on each side of the half of that windshield. That windshield gets split right in the middle. And then you're required to shrink your half before the competitor does. If you have damage on that film, it's immediate disqualification and you don't move on. What ended up happening was we had a person that went in and battled, and he beat out his competitor. Then he wanted to bring on his student. So it was this girl named Dominique. She goes on to battle him. She beats him. So it was a classic instructor versus a student. The student beat the instructor. So then she won. She beat him. We bring somebody else up. She beats him too. Bring on the next person. She beats him too. And I'm thinking like, whoa, she was smoking people left and right. But it was crazy because she had these nails, man. Like she did not come to compete, but she was beating everybody out. And I was like, okay, now we have a, like, for me, who's at every competition, who is commentating for every single one of them, I saw her and I was like, wait a minute, there's something that's going on here. How is she beating these guys that have more experience than she is of age? Like, that was wild to me. Needless to say, what took her out of the competition was she ended up creasing a little corner, so the damage got her out. In essence, nobody really beat her. She got disqualified, and it's kind of like the John Jones career record. Like, John Jones never got defeated. He just got disqualified because of an illegal 12-6 elbow at the time was illegal at the UFC. He got disqualified for that, but he was never, ever beaten by anybody. This, to me, reminded me of that. This girl named Dominique, I don't remember exactly where she's from, but she is going to be competing. I'm telling you right now, commentator Carly, she is a force to be reckoned with, because she was, for some reason, never been in competition, really new to the industry. But for the way that she was performing, you would think that this is not her first time around the rodeo. I can't wait to see how she's going to perform. She is teaming up with the instructor that she battled with, and she is one of the teams competing at Tinter Battles for auto in the auto division.
What'd you give? What's her name? Did you give her a nickname?
No. Well, I started calling her Dominator Dominique, because she's literally dominating competition.
Sounds like the Prodigy to me.
That's what I've been calling her too. Like, I called her the Prodigy. I called her the Dominator Dominique. She's definitely a prodigy for how young she is and how well she was doing against people that had more experience than she's been alive. So that's she's going to be competing most likely. I think she's definitely doing heat shrink battles, and she's definitely doing teams auto division. Again, man, this is the really cool thing about Tinter Battles. She's a man eater. Yeah, the really cool thing about Tinter Battles is that it brings out the what I say, like the new generations. It brings out such a fresh level of like a roster of people. Like, the leaders of tomorrow are coming to the show today, and that's how I feel about a lot of the competitors that are coming in. We have really a good mix of really established old school guys versus some of the newer people that are just fighting for a name, fighting for identity. There's a lot that's on the line for Tinter Battles January 10th and the 11th here in Houston, Texas.
I'm getting excited, man. I'm trying to keep my blood pressure down, but I'm getting excited for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, me neither. I can't wait either. So anyways, it's getting a little bit late. I think Cash Caduce with the Film Pros is already going live. So I'll see everybody there in that comment section. For those that have joined us, thank you for joining on the podcast. This was an incredible show. We went over with Tint Wiz and the impact that we had at SEMA, the impact of influencers, and the value of companies and sponsors really backing people in this industry that are content creators, that are leaders and personalities, all the way through to Tint the World and some of the messages, the new guys versus the OG guys. Elio Albello here coming in, multiple time world champion, now coming into Tinter Battles, and he's going to be competing at, what an incredible confidence that he's got going into the heat shrink battles. That's going to be the battle round to watch. So I can't wait to see him do what he does there at the heat shrink battles, and in general and overall the Tinter Battles themselves.
He's allowed to be as confident as he wants. He's been this close so many times.
Yep, exactly right. So January 10th, the 11th, get your tickets, tintertainment.com. Stay tuned to the @Tinter Battle social media account. We're going to be doing some giveaways, and some of those do include tickets themselves. We're going to be announcing that stuff. We also have some major news coming out, including a potential betting platform so that you can get behind the competitors that you want to support and show up and show the love. So this has been a great episode. David, commentator Carly, thank you here for joining us as a guest. My name is the Texas Squeegee, signing off with Tintertainment and the Tinter Battles. Have a great night, everybody. Squeegee that. You got to say squeegee that too.
Me, squeegee that.
No, I'm just kidding. You say whatever you want.
Get me off the show with you. You're so annoying.
Let's go. We're going to take this off the show.